Program is for training purposes in TV news education. Some copyrighted material is used and is credited on screen. However, no more was taken than was necessary to tell the story of the event. YBA claims fair use of material.
Because the refs really weren't, I think, trying to find a way to phrase this. I think that it was too close to call. I think the refs got it wrong. I think the guy's shoulder was...
Well, remember, it was ruled incomplete on the field, so they after going back and watching video, they overturned.
There wasn't enough disputable evidence to overturn that call. That is in my
But you
mind.
also have to go by the rule book, too. I think his shoulder got down in bounds, and you only need one body part to get down in bounds. And
so you say it was a catch?
As long as you have possession of the ball, that's what matters.
I'm gonna have
not even the catch or the call. How about just the play?
The play.
Just to get up for that ball was impressive.
Yes, it was an impressive overall play by the receiver, but I'm still maintaining that there was not enough disputable evidence to overturn the call.
Well, the question was, did he have possession? Because as he was falling, it looked like he had it at one point,
and then dropped
his shoulder landed in bounds, bobbled it, and then re-caught it with his shoulder out of bounds. I think either way you call it, it's right, but there's not enough there to overturn it one way or the other. Dylan, what do you think?
I really couldn't agree more. I think that you're right. There wasn't enough evidence. What you call on the field, what they called on the field, should have stood whether it was touchdown or no touchdown, because unless the rule says there have been so many calls overturned because it was stayed and confirmed because there was not enough evidence. It looked like it could have been overturned, but it wouldn't because there was not enough evidence. If it's too close to call, you keep the call you made in the first place.
Yeah, but it could have been a touchdown.
It could have been, but the call on the field was not a catch. And if the rule is if there's not enough evidence, which I don't think there was, you can't overturn it.
Well, I mean, there could have been, but still, I mean, he was a great play. I honestly think he did have the ball, and I think he did have possession. I don't think it was totally clear, like 100%, but sometimes it doesn't have to be exact. Sometimes I still feel that they should just call that makes them what the gut should think.
Well, there were no replacement refs to blame this time. So really first controversial call since the strike has ended.
Remember that Seattle-Green Bay game? That was but I don't know the call.
Oh my, that was an abomination.
I don't know how they ever let that. But the guy clearly
that started. I think we have this new version of football. We call it replacement ref football. If you catch somebody who catches a ball, you can possess the person and run with the person.
What?
So, granted, me being small, I get picked off a lot.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting. It's very fun to play.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Dylan?
All right, guys. Speaking of BCS, these guys over here in the backup set are going to share with you their top 5 BCS rankings after this whole shaky up weekend. Guys?
Thanks, guys. Now, I'm Liam Miller, joining me here, Jason, and we're going to bring you guys our top 5 in the BCS standings this week. Now, after a big week in college football, Jason, with upsets to Oregon and Kansas State, who are your top 5?
Well, first, my top team is going to be Notre Dame, the only undefeated team that is bowl eligible. Remember, Ohio State, they are undefeated but are not bowl eligible. They beat Wisconsin in a nail-biter last night in overtime. Second, I'm going to say Georgia. They are a one-loss team. They were 5, but I believe they will jump up. Third, Alabama. Fourth, I'm going to say Oregon State. Although they were 2, they lost to a ranked team last night, and then
Oregon, not Oregon State, right?
Oregon, right? Sorry, Oregon. They are going to be 4th because they did not lose to. They lost to a ranked opponent, unlike Kansas State, who lost to Baylor, an unranked opponent.
Yeah. Now, what I'm going to say is, first off, you have to say Notre Dame for number 1. There is really no pushing it there. Just the record stands for itself there, and then you move into one-loss anarchy with the 2 through 5 there. Personally, my 2 seed, I'm going to go with Alabama. They were the number 1 team until losing the week before last week. Number 3, I say Georgia. Simple fact that SEC teams seem to get the bit of a push there. Then I'd say number 3 and 4 and 5, they're sort of a big toss-up. I'm going to go with number 3. I already said number 3 was Georgia. Number 4, I would have to say Oregon for the simple fact that they did lose to a ranked team, unlike Kansas State, who I'm going to put as my 5th team, being after losing to a unranked team in Baylor. and actually getting absolutely destroyed. The one case you could make for Oregon not being the 4, maybe being the 5, is because they lost at home to a Stanford team that hasn't been amazing. They were I believe, the 13th. Yes.
Yeah, they're 13 in the
But
nation.
they were missing. It's not the Stanford team from last year with Andrew Luck, Kobe Fleener, all the other superstars you could say that they had on that team. You really look at them, and it could go either way there. I think that the AP poll, if you look at it this week, it has Oregon in the 4. I believe Kansas State was the 6. But it's really, it'll come down to how the voting falls, and it should be interesting to look at tonight.
Right, and this is what comes up with the problem with the BCS system. If you have a 14 playoff, you can have Notre Dame would be the 4th seed. Then you could have Alabama, Oregon. You could have Alabama, Oregon, and Kansas State or Georgia. I'll have to see how next week plays out with the conference championships as well. But they are trying to institute like a 14 playoff. But I mean, this is the problem because you're going to have potentially 4 or I guess 3 one-loss teams that all have a chance of getting in, and only one's going to get in. So we'll have to see who gets in, and there's still a chance. Notre Dame plays USC on the road next week.
That's going to be a close game.
Yeah, so Notre Dame could lose that game, and we'll see if they do lose, how that affects the standings and who gets into the national championship game.
All right. We're going to send it back to KSports Sunday for Liam Mailer and Jason Siegel. Thanks, guys. Right back to you.
All right, those were the guys on the back talk set earlier, Liam and Jason. Now let's toss it to the guys who are on the back talk set right now. What do you guys think about the top 5?
I'm just going to say right now, Notre Dame, Alabama.
I think
should be a championship.
I think number 1 would be Notre Dame, number 2 Alabama, number 3 Georgia, number 4 I got to go with I think Florida because the computers are going to like them, and then number 5 I think Texas A&M because Texas A&M. What do you think?
Going Notre Dame all the way because they're Irish, I'm Irish, it works all the way.
Yeah, Notre Dame, they actually played at BC. BC, actually Notre Dame didn't exactly feel like they could totally put them away. It was close, and it wasn't compared to what they should have. They didn't win exactly what they should have won back at BC. It was only a 15-point win for Notre Dame.
They've played a couple close games this year against unranked teams. Dylan?
Actually, guys, we're having some
nope, I guess we're keeping it here.
On my microphone, so...
All right, well, his mic's not working, so how about who's been your surprise team of the year? Which team do you think has played a lot better than everybody else expected?
Obviously, absolutely. No.
Well, who?
Notre Dame.
Okay.
They started unranked in the beginning of the season, and same with Texas A&M too. But two freshman quarterback, Everett Golson and Johnny Manziel, both have been
2 quarterbacks in general. We've seen the 2-quarterback system does not work.
Yeah, I know, but Notre Dame, Notre Dame, they had Tommy Rees and Everett Golson, but now Everett Golson's really starting to take the role. But Johnny Manziel and Everett Golson are only freshmen. By the time they're senior year, and at both schools, Notre Dame and Texas A&M are going to be the powerhouse of the college football in the next few years.
I don't really watch college football. All I know is that, yeah, as you said, Notre Dame was unranked. Now, obviously,
same with Texas A&M too, and
Notre Dame a big surprise for me this year.
And the Gators
and they're
too.
Irish, I'm Irish, it works.
And Florida too, the Gators of Florida.
I'm gonna go a little bit untraditional here. This team had 56 consecutive winning seasons. Last year they lost that streak. This year they were supposed to win 2, maybe 3 games. Finished the season 7-3, just out of a playoff spot. The Division III Empire 8 Ithaca College Bombers, led by the running of Clay Ardoin and middle linebacker Will Carter, put it together, had a very impressive season. So that's my college shameless plug shout out. We're going to toss it to a quick break.
All right, guys, welcome back to KSports Sunday. My mic is working, so don't worry, you get to see more of me. And we'll jump right into here to the MVP races of baseball. We'll start with the AL one. Some say it to be the more controversial and closer one. Miguel Cabrera won the AL MVP race, winning the Triple Crown. Some say that's what put him over the top of Mike Trout. He won the Triple Crown. Triple Crown is, for those of you unfamiliar, leading the league in home runs, RBIs, and batting average. As I said, first one since Yaz Kolyastrzemski since 1967. Now, some people say Mike Trout should have won it, even though he did not win the Triple Crown, obviously. because some people say Mike Trout was a better fielder. He stole bases. He was faster, more athletic. What do you guys think?
You know, what does it matter in Major League Baseball, what you do in the field, what you do in the bases? Even pitchers, all that matters is hitting. The pitcher is literally, if you look at it from a general sport point of view, what is the pitcher doing every time he throws the ball? It's a turnover.
Yeah.
He's giving the ball to the offense, so pitcher should win it. Fielding is the same thing. Fielding is, except for there's maybe 3 or 4 guys in the league who actually change a game with their fielding. Outside of that, it's all very routine. Base running the same way. Only 3 or 4 guys who can change a game. Baseball comes down to hitting. And who was the undisputed best hitter in the MLB this year? Cabrera. Exactly.
Yeah, Mike Trout, though, and he did make a few good plays, but did it really matter? Did it really change the season? It was only a few good plays. It wasn't like he changed the season. The only guy that was really like that big of an MVP and that much was Dave Roberts when he stole that base. Like, that guy was...
Yeah.
In my mind, if you were number 1 in the league in home runs, RBIs,
that's what really matters.
Batting average, you should win the MVP. It is simple.
Let's break the award down. Most. What does most mean?
Most.
Most.
Oh,
So all,
a lot.
What is valuable?
Good.
Adding value.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make him, he's worth it. And then player.
You
is
play.
the person. So who had more value? Could the Tigers have made the World Series without Miguel Cabrera?
Probably
no,
not.
Probably not.
No.
Could the
Not even the
Angels
playoffs,
have made,
maybe.
Could the Angels have made the playoffs
Yeah, they're
without
still-
Mike Trout?
they're still a
they
decent
did
team.
Make
Make
it,
the
and
ball-
they had Mike Trout.
Yeah, I mean,
So obviously he had less value
They're
than
still-
Cabrera did.
Angels were still a decent team even when Mike Trout wasn't there.
Oh, they are still a decent team, but I think
They're not
if
a
you're looking at
playoff
the award
team.
for what it is. Cabrera added more value to his team than Trout.
If you're gonna hit like that much home runs and driving that many
the
runs,
Tigers
and-
could have made
and
the
score
World
runs.
Series without Cabrera, and the Angels could even make the playoffs with Trout.
Exactly.
I couldn't agree with you guys more. I mean, you said it, Alex. Most valuable player. The Angels didn't make the playoffs with Mike Trout. So I really do think that Cabrera definitely was the clear choice for MVP. All right, let's go on to the NL race. Buster Posey winning 27 out of 32 first-place votes. What do you guys think about that?
I'm not too crazy about it. I mean, I guess he was the right pick. I don't know.
They won the World Series.
If there
though.
was a definite MVP, they did win the World Series. I think that was part of it. I don't know if there was a definite MVP in the National League. You know,
You have all those
wasn't as
competitive
clear-
teams.
Right. It wasn't as clear cut as it was in the AL with Trout and Cabrera. Now, is Posey a bad pick? No. Is he the best pick?
No, I don't know.
He's a third-year catcher. He played well. But any other year, he may not even be in the MVP discussion.
I don't know. He definitely is a good player. I definitely do think he is worth like having his MVP. And he led the team in the World Series, which was pretty good. I just don't. But it wasn't like totally clear that he was. But the same with everybody. No matter who won the MVP in the National League, it wasn't like, oh, they definitely should win.
Tom?
I'm going to agree with you, Alex. The NL was so close together. They were so, just really like that. And I think it's too close to call Buster Posey. He's not the best choice, and he's not the worst choice.
You know, he was the best player on the best team. I think maybe
exactly.
that's what puts him over the hump.
Yeah.
Don't.